So what I am making, well, I'm hoping you'll be able to guess.
It's a heart.
So that's a heart, a little hook. So what we'll do is we'll get a little punch mark here so that you can drill a hole in it. And that will be a little hook you can hang up your coat with or whatever. So in historical days, around the time of this museum when it was first around, people didn't have a lot of things, right? You couldn't go to Walmart and buy 400 things. But the things that you had lasted a very, very long time. People spent an awful lot of time making, and you took very good care of them. So if you had a hook, if you were making a hook for somebody, you would typically make a pretty looking hook. And one of the reasons for that as a blacksmith is that my cost has very little to do with the cost of the steel. So steel is $1 a pound. That's not even close to $1 worth of steel, not even close. But the amount of time I put into it can be considerable. So I end up, when I sell these, I have to charge them for a reasonable amount of money because of the cost of my time. Now, for pioneer blacksmiths, the cost of their time was almost insignificant in comparison to the cost of the steel. The steel was extraordinarily expensive. So they'd be willing to spend huge amounts of time making the thing look good so that there was a differentiator between the thing the other guy was selling. And you didn't really care how much time you spent working on it because, again, the cost. So if I took a piece of material back then that cost well, they didn't use dollars, they used other denominations, but let's say for the sake of arguments it was $9. In that $9, here's what that has to cover. It has to cover the cost of my fuel, it has to cover the cost of my steel, the cost of running my business, my shop, my taxes, it has to cover the labor, the cost of the people I'm hiring, or my cost in order to do it, and the profit I'm hoping to make. So all of that has to fit into the $9. Out of that, 5 of it would have been the steel. That's how expensive steel was back then. Labor was nothing. So they would spend massive amounts of time filing and making absolutely beautiful things so that people would buy them.